Forgive me, but I'm going to have to say the buzzword that has been for the last 3, 4 years, but enter LLMs and AI. If you
Uh-huh.
have so much overwhelming
Mhm.
feedback, I think the knee-jerk reaction for a lot of people is, well, let's use this amazing technology that crawls through um,
Yeah.
a language and observes sentiment. And I've already seen a lot of these tools in the works, although I think how well they work is a hit and miss in my opinion. But wouldn't that be the logical path if there's just so much feedback and you don't want to miss any of it and you want to continuously analyze as the game evolves what people players are saying every day?
Yeah, this is a really good question. In danger of speaking poorly of products in that space, I do have sales calls every couple of weeks. I get to talk to somebody in the industry, and they've tried tools like this, and they say like, yeah, the results were mixed. Like we really still can't tell what we should do with this feedback, or it misses important stuff, or it doesn't understand tone. To use a very one example of where I think this stuff, we're going to call it sentiment analysis, right? So using
Yeah.
AI tools or LLMs to do sentiment analysis to feel what players are saying. So if your players are all German men in their 20s, there's a particular cultural way of expressing themselves and giving feedback. I lived in Germany for 7, 8 years, and I was very struck by how straightforward and direct Germans are. They'll just say, "I don't think I, I don't think this is a good idea." And me coming from New Zealand, I'm a little bit struck. Oh, how can they say that me in the workplace? They're not softening it. But to a German, this is not rude at all. Whereas you take somebody from the UK, they're more likely to use euphemisms like, oh, yeah, that feedback is interesting, they'll say. And what they actually
Yeah.
mean is, I think this is a terrible idea. Whereas a German would not use it like that. I mean, there's jokes around about cross-cultural communication and how what one person thinks they're saying is very different to what the other person's hearing. This is a big problem of sentiment analysis. It can't tell how to distinguish between cultural ways of expressing feedback. Then there's the classic Slavic approach where by default a Slav person will have a very negative attitude to almost anything unless it's really, really good, and then they'll say it's okay. Right. So I think this is a problem with these tools. Maybe they'll get better. I hope they do. And something also along that way of thinking is language. So not just the way of expressing yourself in English, but language. So if you've got, this is a real situation I heard of from a Swedish company. They got big in China, but they were getting terrible reviews in China on Steam compared to what they were getting in Western Europe. And they eventually worked out the problem was that most of the Chinese players didn't speak English or weren't comfortable giving feedback in English. So they give their feedback in Chinese, and they felt they weren't getting listened to because there was no interaction with their feedback. So how's an LLM helping with giving feedback to the feedback, helping people feel listened to? Their solution ultimately from this Swedish studio was to hire somebody who spoke Chinese, a community manager, who was then at least able to tell people, thank you for the feedback. Yes, this is like something else we've heard. Yes, we know about this. Okay, I'll make sure like the studio boss hears about this. And almost immediately their Steam reviews started going up, up, up. Their average Steam review in China. And it was not by doing anything, except by just basically making people feel they were listened to, and then taking that feedback and using it. And again, how does an LLM help with making people feel listened to? So it's a very long way of saying, yes, these tools do have a place, and I think they are helpful when you're drowning in feedback to get an initial starting point, but that's not enough, not as they exist today.